Hi everybody, it's Becca at So Darn Twisted. Thank you for coming back to my channel to check out this new tutorial. This is the very basics. There's been a lot of people asking in the beginners groups that I'm in, how do I get started to make, my own journal from scratch? What's the easiest way to make a journal to get started? I'm a complete beginner, don't know where to start with making my own one. And lots of people are saying, rightly so, get some card, get some paper, make a journal. But I thought a lot of people obviously are more visual learners, so I thought what I'd do is put together an incredibly quick tutorial, because this literally takes a few minutes, just to show you how you can make your own basic starter journal, using just basic materials, bits of paper, things that you've got left over, music sheet, all manner of stuff, but we'll get to that in a minute. But it is just a very simple and ready to decorate journal for you to get going with. So let's move on to the materials. So let's talk materials, and I'll just, as usual, knock stuff around. So you're going to want some card for your cover. Double-sided, probably better, because then you haven't, unless you want it to be white, in which case crack on, but for the likes of this one, white would really detract from the look of the journal. Then you're just going to want a selection of papers. These can be any papers that you want. These are just some leftover kind of slightly coloured pieces. That shouldn't be in there because that's a piece of card. I don't know how that got in there. Then there's just some kind of mottled paper. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a kind of mottled texture that I had left over from something else as well. And these were also just leftovers, so whatever you have will be fine. Book pages, music pages, plain paper, pattern papers, just whatever you want it to be. But to work out your size, you're going to need to make sure that your smallest piece is of a reasonable size, because that's the size we'll be working to. So don't have anything too small. The next thing that you're going to want is an awl or a similar pokey thing to make holes. You're going to want some thread and a needle. I use embroidery thread for mine, and I wax it myself with a wax disc, and a couple of little clamps just to hold things together. They're not necessary, they just do make life that little bit easier, and a cutting board will also make life nice and easy too. Obviously things like inks and corner punches and all that are obviously extraneous as well. You don't need them to make this, they're just if you want to fancy it up a bit. So I may or may not bother doing that, but I'll get them out ready just in case. So that is your equipment. So now we can get on with the making part. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut off any rough edges that you have on your papers, because again that will dictate your final size. So I'm just going to trim off those torn edges from these. I think the rest are actually not torn anyway, so that should be fine. Okay, so they're both all right now, and yep, that's okay. So the reason I say that make sure your smallest piece is of a reasonable size, once you get more practiced at making journals and sewing them together and the like, by all means you can make smaller ones and you'll be making more holes, it will hold them in securely. But because we're going to base this on a 2-hole pamphlet stitch, you're not going to want anything too small, because it might just end up wobbling around all over the place if it doesn't get caught by both stitches. So for this one, stick with a reasonable size. I think these are probably like 20 centimeters, maybe a bit less now, because obviously I've trimmed down the edges. So let's have a look and see. So that should be, yeah, that's 20 that way still. And how about that way? Oh, it's 20 by 21. Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So we'll have 21 as the height. So there we go. So what you're going to need to do now, I really needed to take the rest of this out of the way, didn't I? There we go. I'm usually better prepared than that, aren't I, guys? Just that arm, it's so infuriating. So what I say for the cover, to distinguish it as the cover, is to make it slightly bigger, just like a centimetre, just so it's got a little bit of a gap top and bottom and at the sides. It just makes it look like I say, more like the cover kind of thing. So I know that mine was 20 by 21, so I'm going to do 21 by 22. Obviously the measurements that you have will be dependent on the size of your smallest paper, but there we go. So that's now going to be our cover, which will be folded in half. So this will be a tall skinny journal, which I don't really make many tall skinny journals, but I like them, so I should probably do more of them. So now we're going to do the rest of the papers at the 20 by 21 that the other page already was. So let's just cut that down. These are already 21 because they're A4 size, so that makes life nice and easy. Let's get that up there, just give it a little tickle. I am overly precise. You guys do not have to be overly precise if you don't want to be. You can do whatever you like because it's fine. Okay, and then the 21 that way. I do apologise if you can hear all of the noise coming from outside currently. My neighbours are incredibly rude, incredibly abrasive, and a bit of a nightmare, in all honesty. Okay, so now we've got our cover and our pages, which, as you can see, because it's just slightly bigger, you just get that little bit of an edge. Right, so I'm going to just mix up the pages a little bit so they're not all clustered together. Again, you don't have to do that at all if you don't want to. I just think it's nice to have a little bit of variety as you flip through the pages. So there we go, that will do nicely. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to square them up roughly onto my cover. Now again, you can be as precise or imprecise as you please. Once you've got it looking how you want it, take one of your clamps and just lift it up, clamp that corner. Then do the same down this corner. So just double check you're all squared up to where you want it to be, which is about there. And then we're going to clamp that one as well. So we want a ruler and a pencil. Ta-da! Let's get some better light going on over here, hopefully. There we go. Right, so I'm going to measure from the top of my paper. So I've got the 20, and I'm just going to sort of try to eyeball the middle a little bit. I'm just going to put a really faint line just there, just so I know that that's the 10 mark. And then this one being 21 will be 10.5. Now that's really, really close. I did all right there. I'm quite happy with that one. So I'm just going to rub out the first marker because now I know that that is definitely my center point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get my ruler and I'm just going to mark off, what have we got there, 20 centimeters. So I'm going to do kind of 5 centimeter little mark there, and then 5 centimeter a little mark there. Now you can, if you want to, do a third hole at 10 centimeters, but that is entirely up to you. It will work perfectly fine with just 2. So I'll show you just doing the 2. So we're just going to get the awl and give it a little push. You'll know when it's through all the way because you'll feel it sticking into your cutting mat. Or your fingers, as the case may be. Please be careful, it's very sharp. So another little hole there. So we should now be all the way through. And you can just see you've got your little holes there and there. Perfect. Now we're going to take the hole up and we're going to just give it a bend in half. And so this is the quick and dirty method. We're not doing posh today. This is just something you can just do in a matter of minutes without needing to, you know, faff around folding individual pages and stuff like that. I'm just going to use my bone folder because I don't have that much strength in my hands to push down. Okay, fantastic. Right, so I'm just going to throw them back on there for a minute. Fabulous. Get your cotton and your wax if you haven't got waxed cotton. I do like to point out that you don't have to have waxed cotton to do this either. It just helps to stop it from getting tangled up. It doesn't really do a fat lot else in my experience. So although waxed thread is generally considered to be, you know, the right one, and by all means get some, it's not essential. If you've just got some normal embroidery thread or even just plain cotton that you need to double up, it's fine. You're not here to be, you know, bookbinding for sale. You're just making your, you know, a quick and easy introduction journal. Right, so we're just gonna get that through there, she says, hopefully. You know what, I don't know why I don't just do it that way, because I know that way will work. Oh dear, there we go. Wonderful trick that is. Right, so we're going to get our first hole and we're going to just go through there. Then we're going to leave a tail of thread, okay, and we're just going to pop that under that clamp there. That will just stop it being pulled through, which helps you get tension and also helps with not losing it so you haven't got enough thread at the end. Okay, so we've gone through one. For extra security, we'll go through twice. So we're just pulling that tight, but taut but not tight. So you want it to, you know, not be baggy, but you don't want to really pull it tight, because if you do that, it can start to split your pages. So you don't really want to do that. Okay, then we're going to unclamp that. We're going to take the tails of the thread. You can get rid of the needle now. We're just going to give them another little pull just to be on the safe side. And then we're just going to make a little knot there. My dexterity has left the building. There we go. Little knot, little bow. You don't have to have the bow. You can, of course, you can do it the opposite way around as well and have your bow on the outside, because it can make for a nice little sort of feature on the outside parts. But it doesn't matter. There's no wrong or right way for doing this. It's just whatever way makes you look at it and think, oh, I like that. That's all it needs to be. And we're just going to trim those ends off, unclamp that, and lo and behold, you have yourself a journal to start filling. You know, it really is that simple. As I say, you can then, if you wanted to, you can go ahead and clip out the corners, you know, just to make it look a bit fancy. You can use a decorative corner punch if you have one, or you can just use a simple rounding punch like that. I think the rounding punches, they do give it kind of a more polished look. I don't know why I think that, but I do. I just think it makes it look that little bit more polished, and a little bit less, you know, rough around the edges, so to speak. So we'll just, oh, that one didn't clip out. Don't know what I did there, but it didn't work. There we go. Turn that round. I think my punch is getting a little tired these days. It doesn't like to go through all of them at once. So we just have to do it in little sittings, because it's very finicky these days. But then I have worked it very hard since I've had this poor punch. It's had to cope with a lot. It just does not want to punch that page at all, so that's just going to have to go in on its own. There we go. And I'd probably do the cover corners as well, just to finish that off. Then obviously you can ink the edges of the pages, you can decorate the cover however you want to, you know. And what you can do, if you're worried, it will eventually stay flat after being, you know, opened and closed, stored. It will stay flat. But if you're worried that it's, you know, not doing it, just go ahead and, you know, just go through the pages and just do that, and that will just help. But you don't have to do that at all. So I don't know how long that was, but I can't imagine it was very long. So you now have yourselves a tall, skinny, ready to roll journal. I hope that was useful, guys. I hope very much that it's given you some confidence that you can make your own journal from scratch, and that it doesn't have to be a big fancy thing, you know, with loads of hardware on it, or, you know, a big spine, loads of signatures. You don't have to do that at all. You might want to do that and you'll get there, but start off smaller, start off getting familiar with how it works, how the sewing works, you know, that kind of thing. Then next time you can make one that's got 2 signatures, you know, and things like that, and build yourself up, and you'll get there really, really easily. And I've got lots of videos as well to do with binding and making covers, different ways of covering your covers, you know, all that kind of thing. So there's plenty for you to look at there as well, but I'm always happy to answer any questions at all. So feel free to get in touch if there's something that I haven't covered that you would like to know, or something that you just want explaining a bit more. That's absolutely fine. And there you go, guys, that's that. Please give it a thumbs up. Love it if you'd leave me a comment. If you don't subscribe already, please do. My subscriber giveaway is this coming Saturday night. Details are on the video for that I will link in the description if you'd like to be in with a chance of winning all of my Etsy digitals and an Etsy gift voucher as well. So yeah, there you go, that's it. I have nothing more to say. Happy crafting, guys.